Well, I'll start. I think a quick statement here. I just think sometimes in basketball you get beat, you get outplayed, you get. I think that was the case. They were just a fraction better than us tonight, and we had our chances. When we were able to get a little lead there, 56-50, and some other times where we were stuck on that number and we just couldn't make shots. And again, if we. I thought defensively we were okay. I mean, De Silva's a really good player, man. He's one of the best players in the conference. I think, just based off what I've been watching on tape and then seeing him, now today. And he's so it was a tough one. Obviously, a tough loss.
The 17-3 at the end. What did you make of that?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was 14-2 at the end versus Stanford, and it's basketball. Happens. They're clutch players. They're their best players. The three that De Silva hit was a kill shot. It was a 2-point game. We needed to stop. The clock was running down, and he stepped up and drained it. So, and then we had other chances. We just didn't. We didn't do our part offensively to generate enough points to win.
Did you see a lot of lack of patience on offense? Was that a running theme?
I thought late in the game, as after he hit that three, those last couple of possessions were really bad, to end it. But overall, I was okay and happy with the players that were taking the shots for the most part. We had some bad turnovers. You can't turn the ball over after you just turn them over. We did that one time, and there was another one in front of our bench that we lost the ball out of bounds. We just, you can't afford to do that when you're playing against a team that's playing pretty well.
Do you think they maybe were a little bit more hungry, having lost to you the way they did up there?
I'm sure there's a little more incentive, on their end. It's hard to judge that or know that for sure, but they played a quality game. They played through De Silva a lot. You always had to account for Simpson. Their other players made some shots like Ruffin. Those 2 threes he hit were big threes in the game. So they did what they had to do, to win, a very close game where there wasn't a whole lot separating both teams.
Is it still one? Oh, go ahead.
No.
Is it still one game at a time for you, or are you thinking about the tournament at all with a loss like this?
I mean, you can't. We have to try and figure out it on Saturday. That's all I'm thinking about right now. It's a tough loss. The guys are demoralized to a degree in there. We played a winning game. Just didn't have enough to finish it.
It seemed like when your offense isn't great, it's just hard to get separation on teams consistently from a game-to-game basis. Does that have a cumulative toll on just dealing with that?
I'm just a little distracted. Could you just repeat that, Chris?
Yeah. Is there a cumulative toll to when you're not able to get separation on teams game after game because of just offense not firing out cylinders?
I'm not sure, how that impacts their mentality. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the half, we didn't finish the half well again. That was kind of like Oregon a little bit here, where we had an 8-point advantage, 30-22 and 32-24, and then they scored the final 8. So didn't finish the half well, didn't finish the game well. As to exactly why, you just got to review the shots. What's going on here? Review the shots that we're taking and see what is there, an animal over there or something?
It's just some people working back there.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, it's. I'll watch the tape and watch the film and see, what those shot attempts look like. But it's hard to gauge that right now.
How was Warren as far as, did you have the minutes limit on him, and where do you think he was stamina-wise coming off the sickness?
He did some nice things in the second half, had a good post move, had the roll for the dunk to start the half, so that was good to see him do that. Not a great matchup for him because of how much perimeter defense he needs to play, considering their lineups, and we couldn't make them pay. That's why De Silva and him playing the 5, they're a tough matchup because they really still can rebound and defend the paint relatively well. Even with that smaller lineup, we couldn't take advantage of Warren the way maybe I thought we could have when they took Lovering out of the game. But to answer the question on the minute count, I was trying. I took him out. I think 16-40 in the second half. He just looked winded. Usually he would have stayed a few more minutes under normal conditions. It's hard to simulate missing a week and then having a few practices. So, but overall, for what he's been through, I think he did pretty well.
It seemed like you generated a lot of good offense early in the game. DJ Horns, comes out, he's shooting it. You get the high post stuff, slips and all that. Just did you like the how you guys were doing overall before kind of how things ended?
I mean, they were switching a lot early, and they were switching Lovering on to DJ, and so those were good mismatches for us. And he was able to create space and get off pretty clean looks. But yeah, we were flowing pretty well on offense. We had 20 points, I think, at the 11-minute mark in the first half, and so for the rest of the next 30, we only scored, 39. I'm not great at math, but it was 39, I think, for the next 30 minutes. So we got to find more ways to score. We didn't get to the free throw line either, really. There's another issue. I mean, we only took 5 foul shots. So, we had as many field goals as Colorado did. We just, we couldn't find additional ways to put some points on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, guys.
Warren, can you talk about how you're feeling coming off the COVID and
Spirit-wise, I feel like I'm good, but it's a process, and I'm just trying to take it day by day. But I'm just trying to do all I can, and all I can do is control what I control at this point.
were you a little fatigued there in the end at all?
A little bit, but that's all part of it. I got to be able to kind of, cancel that out and just focus, and that's what I tried to do today.
When did you start kind of feeling like yourself, and when did you start feeling better?
The start of the second half, I kind of felt like I got comfortable, had my legs underneath me. But from there, I still feel like I didn't get in a consistent rhythm, but that's on me, and I got to figure that out.
I meant more like prior to you missing the games. Were you like Oregon? Was that when you started to?
Oh yeah, I definitely felt it in Oregon, but I was just thinking, it was a little cold, but it obviously wasn't. Yeah.
And then it got kind of progressively from
exactly.
there.
Got way more intense by the day, so felt a bunch of those symptoms, and that's never fun. But I'm here and I'm blessed, and I'm able to play basketball, so that's all that matters to me.
And when did you feel like you'd be able to play this week?
Honestly, the way I am, I was ready to play when I was sick, but that couldn't happen. So.
How about the team kind of down the stretch couldn't make a shot? Nothing kind of seemed to fall there.
Yeah, it just felt like the rim kept getting smaller and smaller. I can't really speak for that because I'm not the one out there shooting threes, but yeah, we just couldn't hit any shots. I felt like defensively we're doing really good and really well. Silva's, credit to him, he's a great player. He was, Devin was doing all he can, and he was making tough buckets. So credit to their team in Colorado. They really brought it out tonight.
What did you think of just the shot selection in the whole?
That's tough. I personally feel like we could have definitely taken better shots, but I'm not the coach, and I'm also not the guard, so I don't see it from their perspective, so I can't really speak for them, like I said.
Did they change anything to how they were defending ball screens or anything else because of the way that you guys were having success from the high post earlier on?
I wouldn't say they were really like doing anything crazy on the ball screens. I felt like they were just doing a good job of face guarding me in the post. But we should have been able to adjust to that. Having someone flash in the high post or something could have made it easier. But we just got to get back to the drawing board and learn from this.
Do you think about how this game could affect the tournament at all?
I can't think about that right now. We got to move on to the next one. We got a lot of good games coming down on the road, so I feel like our season and our hopes are always going to be there.
Seems like your defense is pretty consistently good with this team, but offensively it's kind of up and down. So, what does that feel like? Kind of always be going through that.
It's tough. It's tough. I feel like when we're making shots, we could beat anybody in the country, just because we have one of the best defenses in the country. But when we're not making shots, it feels like we could lose to anybody in the country. So it's rough, but. I have faith in all the guys. out on the perimeter, and we just got to get back to the drawing board and work harder.
Good, guys.
Thanks, Warren.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.